My name is Brendan Smith. I am the Brewing Sailor, and this is another Hangover free review. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Hangover Free Reviews. I am your host, the Brewing Sailor, Brendan Smith. And whether you're living a sober lifestyle or just looking to cut back on your drinking, you've come to the right place because this is the show that helps you moderate your booze, not your brews. And just how do we do that? I'm very glad you asked. Every week, we look at a couple of NA beers and we score them against the style guidelines appropriate to that beer as prescribed by the Beer Judge Certification Program. If you're interested in reading more about those style guidelines, the link to the style we use will be in the description of the video. After that, I'll take my judge's hat off and I'll let you know how I personally feel about the beer, whether I like it or don't like it, and how often I would pay for this beer, if at all. On today's show, we're talking about the Hellraiser Dark Amber from WellBeing, so let's get into it, shall we? You can see that. Always love this sound right here. What's not to love, right? The hell, we'll pour it all in. Give it a nice full pour. Okay. For those who may be watching the first time, the Beer Judge Certification Program is the judging system that is used by major and minor beer competitions all across the country. It looks at every beer to style. So you're not going to judge a hazy IPA versus a stout. You're not going to judge a Pilsner versus a fruited sour. Okay, it's just not the way it works. So we're going to judge beers against each other's style. So we're going to have all ambers versus ambers, all stouts versus stouts, etc. We use a 5-category system. It's a 50-point system, and the categories are weighted differently. So, for example, for appearance, you can earn 3 points. For aroma, you can earn up to 12. Flavor is the big one. You earn up to 20 for that one. Mouthfeel, or how the beer feels on your tongue, that's going to earn you 5 points, or can earn you 5 points. And then finally, the overall impression of the beer is worth 10 points. So let's dive in and see how this dark amber smells. Or look at appearance first, excuse me. As you can see, it's a really nice ruby color. Maybe dark amber to light ruby, but I really like it. It's a pretty color. It really is. Has a nice off-white head, big kind of moosey head, thick head, which is all perfectly to style. And it's pretty clear. In some of the dry hop versions of this style, and what we're using today, actually, I should have said earlier, is the BJCP 19 Alpha. That is the American Amber style. So, and this is going to be more hoppy than your European counterparts. And in some of those dry hop versions, you might see a little bit more haze just because of the hop particulate matter is in the beer longer. But this is nice and clear. This is all perfectly to style. So we're going to give WellBeing 3 out of 3 on this one. So now let's dive into the aroma. I was a little excited. Let's try. It's a very pleasant aroma. It airs towards the sweet side. Very malty. Maybe some caramel notes in there, which you would expect with this color of beer. You probably have a lot of caramel malt in there. The hops are very present, as you would also expect an American Amber style. Not to the extent of a pale ale or an IPA, but still there. I'm getting on this one very spicy, floral, and herbal notes. So it's pretty sweet though, which I'm kind of surprised by. I thought maybe there'd be it's smelling pretty sweet anyway. I thought maybe there'd be just a not quite so sweet, but we'll see how it tastes. But it's pleasant, but not great. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 12 on the aroma. So let's dive into the flavor. So again, it's pretty sweet, which I am surprised by. So I'm guessing most of the hops are going to come later in the boil. For those who aren't big into brewing and just like drinking the beer, which, hey, that's perfectly fine. When you put hops into a boil, really impacts what the hop will do. So if you put hops in earlier in the boil, the longer they're under heat, the more those acids are go through an isomerization process, the more bittering they'll impart up to what they can, depending on the alpha acids and a few other parts of the hop that actually provide bittering. But that's getting into the weeds here. The later in the boil, or if you're in dry hop, you're going to get more flavor and aroma from the hop. So I'm guessing here that most of the hop additions in this are going to be late addition hops. It probably still has some early addition hops, but I would have liked a bit more. I would have liked a little bit more balanced flavor profile. It's pretty sweet, at least to my palate. The hops again are here, and I'm getting more herbal and spicy than I am floral, which is all to style. Nothing really wrong with that. But again, I would have liked a little bit more bittering here. So we're going to give that 15.25 out of 20. On the mouthfeel spot on. The mouthfeel, it's a medium mouthfeel beer. It's got medium carb. It's a very smooth feeling beer across the tongue. Carbonation. We spoke in my last review about the Mango Dango, how I thought for the style it was a bit overcarbonated and how there was a slight carbonic bite to it that I would expect on a Pilsner, but not necessarily an American IPA. You don't have that here. It's a very smooth, very easy carbonation. It rolls across your tongue nicely. It goes down pretty easy. So no points lost here. 5 out of 5 on mouthfeel. Overall impression, this is a decent little hoppy amber that falls squarely into that very good range. So we talk about how 25 out of 50 is average, 30 to 35 is good, 35 to 40 is very good, 40 to 45 is excellent, and 45 being a world-class representation of the style. In this case, we're going to fall right into that very good range of 35 to 40. It's going to get a 7 out of 10 for overall impression and a final score of 37.75 out of 50. So a very respectable beer. I think it could be better, but very respectable. As far as my personal observations, it is a bit on the sweet side for me, especially for the style. I would have liked a little bit more bittering, as I said, not just from a judge's point of view, but also from a personal point of view. I like a little more balance here. And while the spicy and herbal hops are perfectly to style, and there's nothing wrong with that, personally, it just doesn't work well for me. That caramel notes with the spicy and floral, it clashed for me rather than complemented. It's not a bad beer by any means. It's just not something I'm going to reach for all the time because of that. So as far as where it would fall on my personal scale, whether it's a regular rotation beer, a would buy again, a would drink it again, I'm okay never having it again, or a drain pour, this is going to fall squarely in the middle. It's going to be a would drink it again. I'm not going to buy it regularly. It's just not my thing. I think there's probably a huge market out there for us. I've seen a lot of positive feedback for it in the community. So I'm sure a lot of people do enjoy this, and there's nothing wrong with that. I hope they do. And, hey, the 6-pack I own will be the one you get. So that's great. But if I were at a restaurant and it was this or Heineken Zero, or if it was this and O'Doul's, or this and a few other beers that I won't mention, yeah, absolutely, I'll grab this any day of the week. Or if it's at a party and it's this and, those same beers, yeah, I'm going to grab this and be fine with that and be happy with it. But it's probably not something that I'm going to rush out and get again. All right. So if you're interested in buying Hellraiser, if this sounds like a beer that you would like, or any of the fine beers from WellBeing Brewing, a link to their website will be in the description below. They are also widely distributed, so chances are you can find them at your favorite non-alcoholic beer store. I get them at Total Wine. That's all I have for today, folks. If you like what you heard, I need you to smash that like button for me. If you do like the video and you haven't subbed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscription button, turn it gray, and don't forget to ring the notification bell as well. Let YouTube know that you want to be made aware when I drop a new review. Please do share this across your social medias, and of course, leave a comment before you go. The YouTube algorithm loves your comments, and I want to hear from you personally. I want to know, am I doing a good job? Am I doing a bad job? Have you tried this beer? If so, what do you think of it? And is there a beer out there that you love or, loathe? And if so, do you want to see me review it, or do you just want to see me do my stupid sour face again? Either way, leave a suggestion in the comments and let me know. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you here next. Well, this will be dropping Friday, so we'll see you next Tuesday when we are going to review the Kolsch from Best Day Brewing. Hope you all have a great weekend. Thanks very much for watching. Sláinte, y'all.